Hello, we're back.
Alright.
We're just going to continue. We missed you. Hey, guys. Sorry, I thought that if I pushed to look at my notes that it wouldn't kill the scope, but it totally killed the scope. So.
But you were curious, and we learned, and
now you're back.
We won't do that again.
Okay, so we were talking about Reap What You Sow from the Danny Johnson conference that we are at day 1. So you reap what you sow. All corn is the same corn. You don't, if you're shy, you're still going to grow the same corn as if you were black or white or Jewish or Christian, or it doesn't matter. So that's the first thing. And that everybody is born with 4 innate abilities to be successful, but these are things that we cash in because everybody else doesn't want us to be these things. So enthusiastic is the first one. Yes, please tap the hearts because we want to get to 5 million hearts. So being enthusiastic was the first one. You can watch the scope right before this to hear about that one. And then being persistent was the second one, and then we got cut off. So the third one was the gift of
forgiveness,
of letting it go.
Letting it go.
Of letting
right.
go. So when kids, okay, so I'm so sorry that I was mean to you or that I bit you, and oh, this is so hard. So this is a 3-year-old, right? You're forcing the 3-year-old to look in the eye and apologize. I'm so sorry. Okay, now give a hug.
It's okay.
Yay!
And we're on to playing with the next thing.
All done.
Right? You don't hold grudges. It's the gift to let it go.
Let it go.
You don't hold grudges.
When you hold grudges and you are bitter at somebody for doing what you think they did to you, then you are swallowing a bitter pill that is meant for them, but it is going to slowly eat away your soul and make you very sick.
No grudges, right? It doesn't help you. It hurts you.
It hurts you. It does not hurt them.
If somebody hurts me and I hold a grudge, who is it hurting? Not them. They may not, especially if I didn't address it with them. I didn't say, hey, Lindsay, it hurt my feelings that you didn't call me back last night, and I'm just angry at her.
What is that? How does that serve Kimberly? It does not. So yeah, this you cannot hold anger and grudges and blame on other people. You have to forgive them. So find any person that you need to forgive, and just go read the prayer of forgiveness out there and just let it go. Let it go, because it does not serve you. And we are born with this innate ability to let things go, and we learn for some reason as we get older that we are supposed to stay mad at people. And not. Thank you, Evan. Yes, so enthusiastic persistence and letting it go. Let it go. It will kill you. It will eat away your soul. And yes, let it go. Exactly, let it go.
There's a reason why our kids like that song so much, right?
Jennifer, that's one of the sage oil. You get your sage oil out, apply it right here, let it go. Let go and let God. You cannot control what those people do. You cannot change. If all you can do is forgive them, and you cannot change them. So that was the third one. The fourth one,
I can't remember.
Just looked at it.
I know. We're not going to look at it again.
It was, an adventurous spirit. So an adventurous spirit. So when we are young, you would climb the tallest tree. You would want to see it sway back and forth. You would not be scared of all of these things. And yes, you're totally like, what would happen if I did that? So get back to that adventurous spirit. Take risks. There is no success without risks. And if we feel like we are fearful, then we've lost, right? Mm-hmm. Having fear serves nobody, because you cannot succeed without falling, and not, there's nobody there who's going to catch you. So like when I have been raising my daughter, she was a toddler. I know I'm going to offend a lot of you right now probably, but it's the truth. It's the truth. My daughter would stand at the kitchen counter with me while I was cutting stuff and doing stuff, and I would just have her on a regular chair. Okay? I had her on a regular chair because that's what I used to. I used to pull up a stool and stand on a stool. I didn't even have a chair with a back. I used to stand on a stool. And so if she fell, then my husband would, he's watching, so I have to be careful what I say here. But I would say, well, then she will learn how to stand on the chair properly and won't fall again. So I wouldn't catch her. And that used to make my husband very nervous. But I didn't catch her, and I didn't put her in a gated, fenced-in contraption that would not have fit in my kitchen, and that basically costs money for something so silly. So yeah, sorry guys, you need to let your children fall, and you need to not catch them, because that will preserve this adventurous spirit, and it will enable them to have a strong self-esteem. So for life, exactly. So same thing for us, right? We need to know and not have fear and just plow ahead. And if we fall, then we will figure out how to do it better next time, and we will learn and grow and like learn from it. And it's okay. That is how we do grow. Right. That's how we grow.
So I mean, you don't have to go out and climb a tree. You can if you want to, but think about the things that you are holding on to fear of doing. I'm scared to call people and ask them how they are. Really? What are they going to do? Reach through the phone and bite you? And be adventurous about it. This will be fun. I'm going to see what happens if I call this person. Let's see if I can have 10 people tell me no before the first person tells me yes.
Yes. So that was the 4 things about you reap what you sow, that you have these innate qualities that has nothing to do with personality. And then we were also talking about letting people go, that this is what you thought, right?
So it's been a big, right, so we're going to tell you a little bit about our big takeaways from today, because we could be here with you for hours, but y'all probably have other things to do on a Saturday night, just guessing. And we want you to go out and be adventurous, so we're going to keep this short. I
think we've already failed at that.
Yeah, well, we'll try. So something that I have worked on a lot in my personal development journey in Young Living is coming from a place of lack, of being afraid. I know I said I'd keep it short, now I'm giving you a little bit of background, but I grew up in a family that my grandmother and my grandfather were in the Holocaust, and that created a lot of, my grandmother kept things because she was afraid, she didn't know if she would have them, and there's a lot of stuff that we've carried with us because of that. And what I've learned is that a lot of that is this feeling that there's not going to be enough. And it doesn't matter, not a day in my life did I go hungry. Never. But there's always a little bit of a fear that I wouldn't have necessarily owned or thought to look at, that there wasn't going to be enough, that there won't be enough money in my bank account to pay all of the bills. And I have really had to look at that. And what I've learned in my journey is that I was reaching out to all of these people who did not want my help, because I was afraid to let them go, because I thought that I needed them. And what that did, so I'm going to try and keep it short, what that did, long story short, is that it took away from me spending time with my family. It took away from me really devoting my efforts to the people that do want for me to help them, who do need my help. And so it's been a long journey. I've made a lot of progress. I'm still learning.
Yeah. She talked a lot about, tying back to the reap what you sow. So we were talking about growing corn. She talked about that we go through periods of feast and famine. And it's like this, right? But you have to be trusting of all of the dips, okay? And until you realize that if it's, the seasons are going to come regardless of you. Do you control the seasons? Anyone out there
Raise your hand
if you think you control the weather? Just let us know. Anyone? No. So we do not push the buttons to control the weather. But what we can do is know that when it's 29 degrees outside that we need a coat. We can prepare for the winter. And that's how you have to think about your life and your business. And I know this very well right now because my husband just busted up his Achilles tendon, and I'm here and he's at home. Okay? So we knew that I needed to be here because it would set the tone for the whole rest of the year, and maybe even for years to come. So we are preparing right now, and I prepared this week to ensure that he was well taken care of this weekend while I wasn't there. But if I had stayed home and felt resentful about that, then that would not be a good choice. So, feast, famine, you need to know and be prepared for these things. So if you, took the whole summer off from your life, your business, whatever, and didn't prepare for what's coming, then you're going to have a very different season than you would be having had you prepared. And all the people who, had, summers are always going to be a challenge because people are very distracted and doing other things, and you need to prepare for that in advance of that time. So there is I think a lot of people think when something happens to them that that's how it's always going to be. Is it always winter? It's not always winter. So
maybe if you live on the North Pole, but
yeah, maybe if you live on the North Pole. Anyone in Alaska, but it's not always winter. So that was a big point that she made. And when you're talking about lack, that's it, guys. I mean, it's not always going to be winter. There are different seasons. And so spring will come, exactly. Spring will come, summer will come, and you need to understand those rises and falls in your business and get off the roller coaster and stop worrying about the roller coaster. We have so many people who worry about the dips and the ups, and you need to just know and always be doing the same thing consistently and know that what you are doing will come back to you tenfold tomorrow.
And so an action step that you could take instead when you find yourself worrying about the lack is to focus on what you can do. Focus on helping somebody in your organization, because I think I'm getting a little off topic, but that's what it's about. It's about help. Where can I help somebody? Where can I lift somebody else up? Because I guarantee you that is going to grow
So you focus on the willing. Focus on the willing. I think I told you guys that in another scope, right? Focus on the
Sometimes
willing.
you need to hear things more than once.
So that's why we are here. So if I know so much, I'm here sharing all my scopes with you, and I must have all this wisdom. Well, it's only because I come to things like this and I invest in myself and I learn. And Kimberly is my one teammate that came to this event. We have a lot of folks going to Mastermind, but these events are huge. You have to believe that you are worthy enough to invest in. And if you are saying, well, that's really expensive and I can't afford to go, then you are living in the past. You are not living, you're living like this, right?
By the way, we're not saying go into debt to make it happen.
Well, some people do.
Right.
Because then they learn how to never be in debt again.
Right.
So if you are in debt and you have to go into debt to come to one of Danny Johnson's events, I would say do it anyway, because you will never live in debt again after hearing what we heard today.
You might need this tool to, if you are in debt already and you have, Danny Johnson actually shared a story about how she attended a similar event to this, and somebody told her, you might as well quit if you don't attend this event, because you're at zero and you're going negative. So if you are trying with all your might and you're not making the change, then we are in San Antonio.
Oh, they want to know where, when, and where. So they haven't announced yet when her next First Steps to Success event is, but we will let you guys know once we hear and where it is. We know that her second one is in November, but you have to go to the first one first. So yeah, but this all comes back to, so if you do not feel that you are worthy to invest in, and you aren't coachable or teachable, and you think you know everything and that you don't need to learn anything to be successful, then you're not going to be successful. Because the people who are always learning and always wanting to grow and always failing and always relearning and always hearing it again. And I mean, everything we probably heard today, we've heard before in some way, shape, or form.
Grad school, I mean, different professions that
different
I've been
tidbits
in.
And people and...
Mm-hmm. But you have to hear it again, and you have to hear it at the right moment, and you have to, it's great to also have somebody in your life that will call you on your stuff when you think that you know it and you don't.
Right.
So make sure that you're really taking those looks at yourself and investing.
And being teachable.
And
when ask yourself right now, am I teachable? Am I coachable? Am I looking to learn? Am I looking to do something great, or am I just going to kind of keep banging my head against the wall and being stuck? If any of you guys feel like you are stuck right now, then write the word stuck. If even if like your business is doing awesome but your family sucks, you need to write the word stuck.
Not suck.
Yeah, not stuck. Stuck. Stuck.
Yeah.
And you could be making, I mean, she was talking about today, I mean, there are a lot of people in that room, a lot of people that come to these events that are making $1 million a year and still are in debt. There were people there, there was a girl there who didn't have kids, who bought a house with 6 bedrooms just because they thought they could. The bank said, oh, you can get a loan for this, amount for this amazing house. And they did that. They had $300,000 in debt, and they were making a lot of money. So you have to get out of that mindset and be teachable and always be looking to learn and grow and do things differently, or you're just going to continue to be stuck. And so when you look at an event like this and it's $450, I think is how much it was to buy a ticket, then you might say, that's too expensive. I can't afford that. And to where I would say is, wow, can you afford not to? I mean, what are you doing right now? Who's teaching you right now? Where are you learning what you're learning? I mean, you can get infinitely more sitting in an event like this for 3 days than you will get listening to audios for 2 years straight, I think.
Well, and Chalene Johnson actually had a really great point about that yesterday, because she talked about how she has really, if you follow her on Periscope, she's another very successful female in business. She gives a lot of freemium stuff. It's great stuff, but the difference between investing in yourself and watching what's free is free costs zero, and you can
no
get
commitment
these,
with
right,
free,
and you get these tidbits, but you don't necessarily know the love, or you don't know the order to listen. Like when you invest in yourself, the person that you are trying to learn from hands you the information in a bundled package where you can, with a step-by-step pretty much how-to, and you can follow that template. I mean, this is not rocket scientist, y'all. I am definitely not a rocket scientist. I'm smart enough to know when I don't know what I don't know.
And being okay with not knowing, right? Being okay with failing.
Yes. But that is, like, for anybody out there who's thinking, I'm going to go get the free version, that's not the point. The point is investing in yourself. And then you're
living in the past because you're thinking that you can't afford that, when in the future you will be able to afford investing in yourself because you're not buying the 6-bedroom house and the expensive
that you don't need
and all the stuff that you don't need.
Right. So perfect example. A year ago at this time, $400. If somebody had said to me, you should go to Danny Johnson's, $450, I probably would have said, I can't afford that. Now, was I making less than I'm making now? Yes, I was. But knowing what I know now about, not because I'm making more money, but because I've learned more about where that negative thinking is, now I know that had I invested then, what I could have saved myself now. So it still was not an easy investment. I mean, it was not, oh, no problem,
Well, you acted like it was no problem.
Right, because I decided that it was worth it. And that I am worth it.
You know what she
just
said?
Team.
She decided.
Decision.
I think we can end the whole scope on that. When you decide to do it, you will do it. And when you decide that being shy isn't going to stop you, then it won't stop you anymore. And when you decide that you aren't going to live in debt anymore, then you're not going to. If you decide that your husband is actually a nice person that you fell in love with 10 years ago, and you decide to actually focus on him, then you will be that way. You will put that into existence. If you decide to sow the corn, plant the corn, it'll still be corn.
Shy or purple. But the Grammonts decided that this needed to happen.
And he's tapping hearts right now.
The best excuse I could have come up with for this weekend would have been, I'm sorry, my husband
busted his Achilles. Yeah, just had surgery and is at home right now with a 6-year-old. But he's all good, right? Right, Ev? He's still there? Because this is important. So, you guys have any questions?
We might answer
Did we lose everybody? I see lots of hearts. No? I don't see any comments.
We said it all?
We said it all? I know we didn't say it all. We have a lot more to share. I think when they don't comment, so did we hit a chord? Did we hit it right here? I think when they don't comment, it's because they don't know. They're like deer in headlights. taking
Yes,
it
we
all
are
in.
having fun. Thank you. Lots of fun.
It's in San Antonio.
Processing.
You're that good. I don't think we're that good. Oh, taking notes. Okay, good. Awesome. We have so many notes from today. It was like
crazy.
Rapid fire, Jennifer. I mean, like, I can't type fast enough. Every word that comes out of her mouth is quotable. Like, where you just, like, I want to make a picture of that quote. Oh, but wait, here's another quote.
I want to
And
take
here's
her
another.
home.
Yes.
I just really want to take
Just
Danny
want-
Johnson home with me in my
So
pocket.
she can, like, slap you whenever you. She is so not nice.
No,
She
she's
is
not, but I really
so
like
not
her.
nice. She's just, she does not put up with any of it. If anybody on here right now listening, maybe I should save this for another scope. Maybe I should save what I'm about to say for another scope. I think I'm going to. I'll just introduce it, and then you guys will have to join next time. But she talked about, and I forgot what I was going to say. Well, I'll save it for another
You'll
scope.
have to see it.
Yes.
I'm going to type up some notes to share.
I'll probably do more scopes about it, and it's hard to. Oh, Heather said she wasn't nice either. Oh, so she was saying, what was she saying? Gosh, there's been so much info today that it's hard. Very honest.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, real. Oh, I know what it was. When people ask what to do, or how they should do it, how they get there, or what they should do, or they say, but I'm shy, or anything question that comes out is going to end up being an excuse in the end. And she is unapologetic about saying that you should not be asking, that time that you spend asking questions and trying to figure it out is time that could be spent actually doing it. So we'll do a scope about that too, about just doing it, because she's a lot about. So, all right.
Have a good night.
Bye, guys. Have a great night. Yes. Bye. Thank you for joining. We lost a lot of folks in the end there. I don't know. Maybe they didn't think it was interesting, but
Maybe somebody else was scoping at the same time.
I think so. Bye.
Good night.
Good night.